in the court now where time stood still. Generations pass on the hill, prosecutors come and go, defense attorneys putting on a show. Old district attorney thought she was tight, came in to visit her tonight. They said justice was blinded by her sins. As the trial spun, no one wins. Endless trial like a river flows. Truth and lies, nobody knows. Corruption split tight as it bites. In this endless trial we pay the price.
Hello everybody and welcome to this panel show. It is Friday evening and we are back. It's 6 p.m. Eastern time. It is midnight Swedish time and it might be earlier in the afternoon for some of you. You might be at the other end of the world, I don't know. But welcome to this panel show about the young thug trial. What has been going on this week? I have 3 guests at the moment. There might be one more showing up later. But first of all, somebody who was in the courtroom, very much involved. Hello, Doug Weinstein.
Hey, Nick, how are you? Yes, I was there today.
You were there today. What
Yes,
an interesting day.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great day. I'm really glad to get started again on this case.
Yeah.
Not that we ever really stopped, just to make that clear.
Yeah, I assume so, because even though what is it? It is the 19th. So for more or less a month plus change, just because the court haven't been in session, lawyers are rarely free.
That's true. You know, we're still working on the case. We're still talking to witnesses. We're still working on motions. So even though we're not sitting in the courtroom, we're still doing work.
Yeah, and what a time to be alive.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. And then we have Kat, not Williams.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I feel like I'm here for the good spirit because after you do your trip, I'm going to be the only one that hasn't been in that courtroom.
Yeah.
There's always room for one more.
There's always room for one more. Now, my risk of being thrown in jail are heavily reduced now when Judge Glanville isn't there anymore. But you still have the prosecutors. And I might have said a word or two that people do not approve of regarding those two, or a few of the prosecutors. And that's not today. Now, today, next guest is, well, you all know her. You all know her. She had a bit of an issue with her YouTubes, but thankfully she got it sorted. Hello, Attorney Kayla Bumpus.
Hi,
You're muted.
hello.
Oh, what a week. What a week. Started out, I mean, first of all, the shifting of judges. I must say, I wonder what will go on, because they can only roll that tombola a few times before it gets ridiculous. That judge? Oh no, she recused herself. Apparently, because the first judge it landed on, her deputy. How do I say this without the boinky boink with a defendant?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Still not gone through the court system, allegedly. So she recused herself. But then we got to Judge Whittaker. And in my opinion, what a good choice for the spinning wheel to stop at. I haven't been in that courtroom. I've never seen her before, but today she really impressed me. Doug, what have you been in front of her before?
I have not been in front of her before today, but I can tell you that after being in front of her today, I'm certainly looking forward to her continued stewardship of this trial. I think she's going to do a great job.
Kat, what was your initial impression?
I feel like I got to hear everybody speak today. You could hear full sentences without people getting cut off.
Oh, hold on. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, is it me?
We can see you and we can hear you, so don't say anything. Oh, he's frozen.
Oh no, we're losing Doug.
Ah,
Doug.
Doug froze. I will put. Oh, there he is again.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Doug is back. Yeah, everybody got full sentences, and I must admit, Prosecutor Love, when she spoke today, she was very respectful. No hyperbolic language. I do believe I caught her in a few statements that may or may not have been completely truthful. But if that happens during actual trial, I'm sure if it happens, and if my my interpretation of what she said regarding how to hand over evidence, for instance, I don't expect you to answer, Doug, but in my opinion, personal opinion, they haven't been that much forthcoming in handing over evidence timely, have they?
Oh, you don't expect me to answer that? I'm definitely going to answer that. Because if you recall, going back to throughout last year, I think I was one of the main ones constantly complaining about the late production of
Yeah.
evidence in this case. And I'm going to repeat what I've said before, and that Kayla is quite familiar with, I'm sure, which is that they were supposed to turn over all discovery to us 10 days before trial, which would have been sometime in December 2022.
Yeah.
And we were still getting terabytes of discovery in the summer of 23. And I repeatedly moved the court to put a cutoff on discovery, and that was never granted. So yeah, I'm not happy with the late production of evidence in this case. And I think another good thing the judge did today, and Caleb, maybe you can speak to this, but if you watched today, but I think that the judge requesting that the parties, especially the state, put forward a list of all of their witnesses, what each witness is expected to testify to, and the exhibits they intend on using with that witness. That's something that would have been nice to have in December of 22, because right now we have been tending to get it 1 week before a witness appears on the stand, which is really not sufficient, especially when you have 8 terabytes of discovery. So I think this order from the judge is going to be very helpful to all parties, not just the defense.
Yeah, I do remember December 2022, the prosecution told the judge, we are ready for trial. And if I remember correctly, they had 70-something witnesses. They didn't have that at the start of the actual trial. I remember 774.
Yes.
So they tenfolded the amount of witnesses after they told the judge they were ready for trial. Now, if I even suggested that to a judge here, I would be sanctioned. Almost. I could suggest it. I would be not laughed at, but between the lines, don't you ever do that again. And then let's move forward and pretend it never happened. Do it again. We will pretend it happened twice, and now you're in trouble. And I was flabbergasted, and I've never seen that before. Kayla, Kat, Doug, have you ever seen that happen to that extent?
Well, I think it's worse than just the sheer number of witnesses that they wanted to call. And I think Whitaker addressed this too. She kind of addressed it from different angles. She said, look, state, you have your investigators. So you should have an idea of several witnesses that you could be possibly calling in a given week on a given day. And you should have your investigators have those witnesses prepared and ready to go to be here. And I also think that expanding the court day from 8:45 to 6 p.m. is going to be helpful, because that gives you the chance, if you're running the courtroom clean, the witnesses are there on time, we're not waiting for them to come in and take the stand, you can have several witnesses seated in one day. So she kind of hit like 3 different points that all together would help speed this up.
Yeah.
I thought she was also very in the middle. You could just tell it was straight down the middle. This applies to you and this applies to you too. And that's what we're doing today. And I really appreciated that. And I always appreciate, like I say this all the time, and Doug, you can agree. I don't know how you feel about Judge Adams. A lot of Kimberly Esmond Adams, a lot of people, they have negative things to say about her. But one thing I can say is, if I know I have Judge Adams, and this may not be the best practice, but I know I'm going to wear a certain suit. I'm not going to bring my pen that clicks. I'm going to make sure the door don't swing. And I'm going to be 10 minutes early, even if she's 2 hours late, just because, of the way she runs her courtroom, and she knows the law. She has a respect for the law. And that's different when you just have somebody just being mean. It's just completely different. And I feel like she has definitely set that standard today, where I'm going to even, I think the standard was kind of set when Judge Cross, I don't 100% agree with the way that the order was worded, but that's when the law started to be followed. And I know that Judge Whitaker probably knows, no matter what or how she feels, that I'm not going to embarrass myself. So she probably gave herself a pep talk and said, look, which is all Judge Glanville had to do, was give herself a pep talk and be prepared for the world to watch, be fair, and do the right thing.
Yeah, and sometimes when I heard Judge Whitaker speak today, I can't help but read in things between the lines that isn't spoken out loud. That, for instance, when she said she heard about there being some heated arguments, things got heated. We need to act professionally, and if you don't, and then she said the line that gave me a bit of chills: we might have to talk. Now, the tone of her voice was one thing. What she meant was completely different. That is my interpretation, at least, that you don't want to be having a talking to Judge Whitaker if you
That's right.
mess up.
Yeah, and I've certainly been guilty, at least on one occasion, of losing my patience in the courtroom, which is not really appropriate under any circumstance. But I think that those things that prompted me losing my patience on one particular day that I can think of, those instances probably won't occur in the future, because I think Judge Whitaker will run a tighter courtroom and allow the parties less leeway in challenging the judge, in not following the judge's instructions. So I think this is a new day, I guess, as they'd say. When I was a kid, there's a new sheriff in town. And I think she's going to do a fine job.
Yeah. First of all, how she set the ground rules, very straightforward. This 8:45, and then the bit of shade to previous judge maybe, I'm going to be here 8:45 because I know the defendants will be here. I know the lawyers will be here. But she never said, I know the prosecutors will be here. Also, some things that might not be said out loud, but sometimes after a few decades working with law, you sometimes focus what is not said.
Well, let me say this about, and I'm going to have to drop off pretty soon. Like
Oh.
I can't stay for long, but I will say this last thing. Of course, the prosecutors will be there,
Mm.
and they were there previously. We would be there, the defense attorneys, on time when the judge said to be there.
Mm.
The prosecutors would somehow not be there, but they would miraculously show up about 2 minutes before the judge opened up the courtroom to
So
everybody.
that's that question about, have there been other occurrences of this thing that took place on June 10th?
Well, Brian Steele has a motion, and we're going to find that out. But at the
Yeah.
very least, they clearly had someone tipping them as to when they actually needed to come down to court. So as long as Judge Whitaker treats both parties the same,
Mm.
I don't care how strict she is about those things. As a matter of fact, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm there at 8:15 every day anyway, so if we want to
Mm.
start at 8:45, that's fantastic.
Mm.
I do question the one thing she said, which is, I know the defendants will be here at 8:45. In my experience, starting late was not always Judge Glanville's fault. There were many days that the reason that we started late was because, for whatever reason that I don't know, the sheriff's office would not have our clients at the courthouse dressed out and in the courtroom in a
Mm.
timely fashion. So, and by the way, when I say that, that's not a dig at the sheriff's office. They have a lot
Oh.
going on. They have a lot of things to do. I'm going to repeat what I've
Mm.
said before, which is the deputies that are in the courtroom right now are fantastic. So for whatever reason, whether it was transport, the jail, I don't know. So I will suspect that you're going to see days that we don't start at 8:45, and when that happens, I think that's going to be the fault. Before you instantly blame it on Judge
Yeah.
Whitaker, I suspect that's going to be the fault of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I've been blaming the judge a lot, but that's not just because he has been late. It's more about not controlling the courtroom enough to make sure everybody's there. Because it is his, if the defendants are late 3 days in a row, you call the sheriff's office and you
Sure,
make sure that happens. So it's more that dig.
sure. I understand that, but I will say Judge Glanville had a very hands-off attitude toward the security issues in the courtroom,
Mm.
and he deferred to the sheriff's office on a lot of issues because,
Mm.
probably rightfully believing that was their purview and not so much
Mm.
his. So
Mm.
as far as security, transport, those issues, but I have no doubt that if defendants show up repeatedly late to the courtroom, that a
Mm.
judge could easily place a call to the
Mm.
sheriff and make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. Uh,
Yeah.
Folks, I'm sorry, I have to drop off.
No
But
worries.
thank you for having me on, Nick. It's good to see you.
Good
Good
to
to
see
see
you
you
too.
all.
I
Bye,
will
Kayla.
see
Bye,
you in
Kat.
about I
Bye,
will see
Doug.
you in about 3 weeks, unless we see each other on Friday shows.
Here, I am going to be filing a motion on Tuesday, or two of them.
Mm.
So look for my motion for mistrial and motion for bond for Mr. Kendrick that we will
Wait,
be
Okay.
Doug, before
filing
you go,
Tuesday.
I
That
just
Yeah.
have
was
one question, Doug.
Yeah. After I drop that bomb. Yes.
No, that was gonna be my question. It's like we keep talking about how she's doing and today, but do we even, I mean, like, what about everything that has happened? Like, do we just start back? I mean, what is the jury gonna, this is too much.
Well, read my motion because I have some thoughts on that as well in my motion.
Well, and you took a
Um,
longer written approach because Steele seems to be filing motions, but they're short and asking for oral arguments, really, or hearing.
Yeah,
So,
I yeah, I have noticed that because I do criminal and civil,
Mm.
and there's a different practice between the two, is in my experience, and that is that And so my criminal motions tend to be more like traditional civil motions, in that they tend to be longer and have a lot more law in them, and be more like civil briefs than what I typically see in criminal, which is the briefing and the motions tend to be very short, and then you expound upon that during your oral argument before the judge. Would you agree, Kayla?
I
I don't think
always
Well,
say,
Kayla heard me. She's just agreeing with
no,
whatever I say.
no, no, no. I was about to explain. No, I was gonna. Somebody was asking me to ask you a question, but I honestly, sometimes it makes me really nervous, even though I'm confident in, the motions that I file, but it makes me nervous when I can't explain. Like, I always like the opportunity to be able to, maybe I didn't write this in a way that you understand, just devil's advocate. And so it always makes me nervous when I don't get to talk.
Yeah. I think the issue is that so many times in civil practice, you'll get a judge ruling without a hearing. And maybe that's why you have the distinction. Um, so just because I was exclusively civil for so many years prior to pivoting more to criminal, that's just my habit. And I would be nervous, and I am nervous whenever I do occasionally do file a very bare bones motion. So, and I think, as I said on Twitter today, I just write, and then to the degree that I have time, I polish and edit and edit and edit until I reach a deadline, and then I file. But I never stop editing. So that's all that's going on now. All right. I'm
so
going to
you're
drop
hopping
off
off. You
now.
do Tuesday Spaces, Tuesday podcast?
Monday evening, 8
Monday evening.
o'clock, Spaces.
Spaces.
Okay.
Okay.
Prosecutors behaving badly.
Disqualified. Prosecutors behaving badly with Suri Chata Jimenez, because Suri will say shit that I won't say.
It was great. It was great. I'll send a link to the private chat so we can share it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was
Bye.
great.
See you guys.
Yeah. Thank you
I
for
appreciate
joining,
that.
Doug. Thank
Good.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
I just shared a link to it in the private chat, Nick.
Yep. Okay.
I don't think, am I a
Came
mod
in
on your
late.
channel? Can I share it?
Let's see here. Oh, that's the one. Oh, that one. Yeah. Let's see here. I think I can share it.
I had so many questions for him, and I was like racing home to get here.
Well, then he has to come back
Yeah, right.
on a Wheel of Regrets night.
There we go.
Every night
let's do
when super chats get over a certain amount will eventually become a Wheel of Regrets night.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Hold on one second. I'm finishing up the call, but I'm still here.
Okay.
And Nick, did you get a chance to see the two? They're real quick, the Brian Steele motions. One's to exclude everything since the June 12th Doug Weinstein motion to recuse through the actual, when it was granted on July 15th. So testimony, exhibits, and rulings that were made during that time period. And to clear, an instruction to clear the jury's mind totally of everything from that time period.
I've seen it. I haven't read it, but that was basically what he informed the judge about. That somehow the judge needs to, okay, how do we clear the jury's mind? And
well, that's one question that I had for him was, why is this not like an automatic mistrial in my mind? When you have a new judge jumping in, it's like when you have a new attorney or when you have something substantial. I don't know how it's not an automatic mistrial. I mean, I know they don't want it to be because they're 80 days into this trial, this stupid ass trial, but how is it not automatically a mistrial?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think one of the reasons might be the ruling from Judge Krause that there was nothing wrong with the ex parte meeting.
Well, that's the second motion that Brian Steele filed. It's 2 pages, and he's saying, look, I want to argue the factual findings that Krause made in her ruling, particularly how she characterized her assessment of the propriety of the ex parte meeting.
Yeah, because there was not much analysis done, and she had no case law to back it up with. So
Georgia law says the trial can continue, Dr. Surak says. I'm just curious as to Is it case law? Is it statute? Is it court rule? How is it? Because in my mind, in Michigan, it would be immediate mistrial.
I don't know. I haven't read that far into the statutes that I can answer that question. For me, I agree. Maybe when Kayla comes back, who practices there, she can inform us. But today was not a court day in that, because there were no defendants there. This was her "here are my intentions" day.
Did you turn off his camera and not the microphone?
That was my chair. I scooched my chair around.
Yeah, sure.
I thought you were blowing your nose.
You know, I wanted to be like a judge, you know.
Now, this was an intention meeting between the judge and the lawyers and the prosecution. Here is how she intends to move forward. But she also gave herself a way out. How? By saying, for instance, when this trial ends, however it ends. So I'm assuming she expects motions to dismiss, to rule on, rather than rule independently.
Well, and I think she's doing a great job of not trying to self-fulfilling prophecy the record, right? She can't predict that she thinks there's circumstances that would lead to a mistrial until arguments have been put in front of her for her to consider, because she hasn't been here for the rest of it. So I think she probably knows enough to suspect that there may be valid grounds that would incline her, give her the inclination to rule, hey, maybe we should grant a mistrial. But she can't really just jump the gun there while she's speaking today before she hears those.
I thought today was a very professional, very appropriate hearing by the judge. I think everything that she said was very appropriate, and the way she said it, I like her a lot. I could tell she's a strict judge. But that's the kind of judge you want. You know, you don't want the fun parent, because, you know, the fun parent leads to a disaster at the end of the day, and that's the judge that we had forever. So
yeah, I mean, I'm amazed because Judge Glanville, being military judge, brigadier general, you would assume he had more control over his courtroom. And the more I learned, the more I listened, he had no control over his courtroom.
No.
And he had
I did hear what the attorney that was on. I don't remember his name.
Weinstein?
Weinstein, yeah. I did like the way he approached it. He's like, well, a lot of the reasons why I sort of lost my temper aren't going to exist, hopefully, with this judge. And that's kind of what I was yelling at when I was listening to the hearing earlier. I was just talking to myself. I'm like, but the reasons were the judge, and the judge is gone. So that's not going to be an issue now, hopefully.
The judge, and that the judge will hold the prosecution under control. Because I can't think of any time the defense went out with a somewhat higher pitched voice, unless the prosecution had done something awful. For instance, in one of the sidebars regarding the, I think it was when Slug was on, they wanted to play a video of sorts, and Prosecutor Love went up to the judge and told him, there's nothing more said in this video than this and this line. And the defense said, Attorney Steele said, I will put my bar license on the line. There is more than what Prosecutor Love is saying. And the judge still went with Prosecutor Love, watched that entire interview with, I believe it was Slug, came back, and then it was played against for the jury for some odd reason. But then in the break, Steele went up and told Judge Glanville, Miss Love lied to your face, and you do nothing about it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, when we called her out. And and the judge did nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even a thing for arguing generally. Like if someone proffers a video and the other side says, "Great, but we'd like to have the whole video played," and whatever, there's hearsay issues or whatever the evidentiary issue is, the judge should watch it and then just make a decision. There's no reason for all of this.
Yeah, but that video was out, not permissible. Then, through that sidebar and the affirmations from Prosecutor Love, then it was came in. Even though Prosecutor Love lied to the court about what was said in it. I don't think that will happen again because as Doug Weinstein said at that one time that when he lost his temper, that Miss Love can talk the ears of a donkey. The more she blabbed, and 10 minutes later, Judge Glanville agreed with the prosecution, no matter the case law. And now that is over. But also, I want those rulings revisited because you only need a handful of the big ones. And I believe dismissal with prejudice is actually on the table. If they get hurt there, the new judge.
Well, maybe. I don't know about with prejudice because of the, again, you have to find fault with the prosecutor in some extreme way that leads to the mistrial. Not just the prosecutor has a lot of faults and then also there's grounds for a mistrial. It has to be connected.
Yeah.
But, the number one tell that this is a BS case is the fact that there are how many defendants? I don't know, 20 or whatever.
The 28 from the beginning. There are 6 left in this and 12 more who awaits trial.
So there's 18 defendants. So out of 20, only 2 took pleas.
No, out of 28. So 10.
Out of 28.
Yeah. So 10 have pled out or charges have been dropped.
The reason why you don't see these kind of cases.
The 5 of these who took plea deals are also pleas where they have to testify. But the people who took a plea deal just before the trial, they only took a plea deal and don't have to testify, if I remember correctly. If I don't remember correctly, the chat will correct me.
Kate will correct you. She knows more.
I don't know all of them specifically, but I know Gunna didn't need to testify. He wasn't called. So
that you can't have a trial with this many defendants and this many witnesses and go this long. It's absurd to think that this is going to go off without a hitch. And the reason why you don't see these trials most often is because the prosecutors will usually single out a couple of key players and charge them and let everyone else go or just call them as witnesses. Or most of the people plead out. And the fact that neither one of those things have happened leads me to believe that this is a bullshit case.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, they had a new meeting with another judge. The remaining 12 offered plea deals, and everybody said no, because apparently, I assume they watched the trial.
That was the thing too, is the judge said, if there's any plea deals on the table, I'd be happy to hear about them, because she knows that this case is going to be a disaster, even if she's on it.
Yeah. And now I said this on Twitter earlier. I believe that generally, if the prosecution suggests to the court time served and bullshit charges pled to, I think that might be the incentive to go, but anything above time served, no.
And I said in your chat that would be a good offer because everyone kind of wins. The state gets their convictions, the defendants get out on time served, they get some street cred, whatever it may be.
But then you run a risk because Woody took a plea deal on the case against Donovan Thomas 9 years ago, and now he has to testify. And so they know they run the risk of testifying a decade from now. So they have to take that in account. But the trial has been going on They have been in jail for 2 years and 2 months.
How many of them are in jail?
18 of them. The
all of
remaining
them.
ones are held without bond.
Oh, so all the defendants in this trial currently are currently in custody?
Yeah. And the 12 who are awaiting trials that will start after this.
No, some of them took pleas, remember?
Yeah, some of them, but there are remaining 12, and then 10 out of the 10 remaining, a few charges were dropped, and a few of them took, but most of them took plea deals. 5, I believe, the plea deals means they have to testify in this trial, if I remember correctly. But the 18, the 6 in this trial, and the 12 who haven't taken plea deals, they are still held without bond. For, I believe, up until November, there was still 2 or 3 that didn't even have bond hearings because there were no defense attorneys.
That's crazy.
Oh, Kayla, you had said that you've been in front of this judge before, and you dress a certain way and don't bring your clicky pen. By the way, that
no, not
resonated
her.
with
A
me.
different judge that Doug knows.
I love the clicky
okay.
pen note.
You know what? So when I was in law
do
school,
you need me to take the pen? The deputy come take the pen. I'd be like, dang, because
when I was
pen.
in law school, I did a mock argument in front of a judge in a real court and all this stuff. And the judge said, judge had notes. Everyone has notes, but the court reporter was like, that clicky pen, that has to go. And since then, I don't carry clicky pens with me in the court. Nope.
And you can't call her yes, ma'am. If you call her yes, ma'am, she goes crazy.
This judge or the other judge you were talking about?
The other judge, but she's a wonderful judge. She's smart. I was just saying that to say I like, it's like kids, how sometimes they like discipline. It gives them structure. You get kids that act a certain way with certain people, but when they go to the discipline place, they act better.
Well, this judge is like the best of both worlds because she was really nice, like Nick was saying. It's the way she says things and the things that she says. And she's saying very strict things, but she's saying it in a very nice way. This is like the judge I would want to practice in front of all the time. You can get the strict judges that are mean. You can get the disaster judges that we've had on this case for a while. I was just wondering if the prosecutors are treated the same on the same playing field. Sort of thing when it comes to this particular judge.
And she's gone.
She's pleading the fifth.
Yeah, she's pleading the fifth. No, because if
they're back on my YouTube, guys. I'm sorry, they got back in.
Okay. Call Brad again and have him help you.
I'm getting him back on the phone.
Yeah. So
I was I was just wondering if Love knows that she's not going to be able to pull the same BS with this judge that she's been pulling with whatever his name is.
Her demeanor today is so different from when she had Judge Glanville there. It is respectful, a good tone, conservative dressed. I mean, I would assume she knows she can't get away with things with Judge Whittaker that she got away with Judge Glanville. I've never seen this judge before, but the way everybody acted in front of her, completely different atmosphere in the courtroom. Even though she was nice, smiley, happy, and as you said, you can say things in a certain manner, but the meaning behind,
she was very nice, but very specific in the things that she said. I love that in a judge. I was getting all kinds of goosebumps watching her. So I'm excited to see how this trial, just the dynamic shift going forward.
I thought it was interesting. Mr. Atkins, the guy that was sitting in between Love and Hilton, when Whittaker was like laying out the structure, a lot of the different things she laid out today, he was going very obviously nodding his head, which I didn't observe from him before on other days, especially not recently towards like day 70 and beyond. I don't know. Maybe Nick, you have a different read on that because you've watched like every second of this trial. Sometimes I just listen. Sometimes I don't have the screen up. But he was really like to this judge.
Yeah,
Is this another prosecutor?
Yeah, the male prosecutor.
yeah,
Oh,
the one
yeah,
who
okay.
sat in the middle there. Oh, he was
The one that usually
yeah,
sits there like this.
Yes,
yeah.
Judge. Yes, Judge.
Yeah, yes,
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 Judge.
yeah, yeah. You watch. It was like watching a little schoolboy. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
It was like, please do this. Please, please,
yeah.
please, please.
But
Well, yeah, that might also be something too, where he knows that things like this are gonna be a lot better, and but he either can't say it or Love doesn't listen to him, and so now he's happy that there's going to be some structure to the prosecutor's case.
Well, it'd
Yeah.
be funny because the three of them, like if this is Love and this is Hilton and I'm him in the middle, he'd be the first to start nodding. And then like Hilton, it'd be like she'd think about it or would notice he was moving and she'd slightly go like this. And then Love was just stoic. Like she was not nodding a lot.
Yeah.
Occasionally she would when it was like, everyone needs to be professional. Everybody. She would do a little bit of a nod.
Yeah, but one question. With this judge, do you remember Miss Bennett and her allegation against one of the investigators? And with this judge, I do think things would have been a bit different if that allegation came forward. And with the text, he actually asked her out, which is so improper for a district attorney investigator to ask out a key witness
to a Japanese restaurant. Guys, where do couples go out to eat? What restaurants do they look at?
Oh, Cheesecake Factory. That's all over TikTok.
Oh, I love yeah, that's a good one. That's a top one. unless you're too bougie.
My favorite restaurant is a buffet. Just saying. I'm very
well, certain styles of Japanese restaurants could be really all you can eat, you know.
Me and some mates already closed down one sushi restaurant who had an all you can eat.
So I'm looking at the chat. Did the judge laugh at Love at one point, like in a mocking way, or like was Love being serious and the judge thought she was joking? What is this laugh at Love? I want to know.
I don't think it was mocking more than disarming. I think it was more disarming that you don't. Love said something, I don't remember what it was, and she replied back with not like she was laughing out loud, but when she started answering, it was a small haha, and then she answered to it. I do believe that was more disarming than mocking.
I would love for Love to have made some serious argument, like she really wanted this or thought this was and the judge laughed at her thinking she was joking. That's just my dream. I'm gonna go with that. That's the scenario.
Well, what's interesting is Love, like, as like sharp and sharky that she can be when it comes to accusing or coming at somebody, she is so sensitive. She thinks everything is personally an offense to her. So that laugh, I'm sure she's feeling like, no matter what it actually was, it was a personal laugh at her expense.
That's what we call projection. People who attack others usually feel attacked with the slightest of things. And yeah, she's probably sitting at home with a tub of ice cream and a box of wine, thinking about that laugh. At least
I'm gonna write a recusal motion, coming up with all the reasons that Whitaker can't preside over the case.
I'm still with no. This is a panel show. I have guests. The things I say about Prosecutor Love, I will leave to my separate streams. But I don't know if you know about European 80s TV shows. There is one specific that was called Allo Allo, about the French resistance, a comedy show. And one of the main laughing points was this.
You stupid woman.
So is that your soundbite? I get the connection.
Yeah, I have other words, but I think this is a good middle ground.
He has to preface it with, it was the 80s, it's Europe. You know.
Yeah.
It was a show, it was fictional.
Yes.
It wasn't about anyone in particular. Do you guys know John Mulaney, the comedian?
Yeah.
He has a skit where he makes fun of airlines and he's pretending he's going to come up with a fictional name. He's like, let's just call them Delta Airlines. And he just goes with the actual name.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
great.
good. Yeah, along with the cafe owner Rene, who allegedly cheats on his wife with his bartend waitresses, and every time she walks in on them hugging each other, he makes up the most stupid excuse, and he starts with, "You stupid woman, don't you see she's in distress? I was only comforting her." Or as in the
it's like the Honeymooners,
yeah,
stuff that was great in the 80s, or
yeah.
the Honeymooners was the 50s, I think. You just can't get away with these days.
No, and the sketch I took this particular from was Rene, the shopkeeper, who is, let's just say, he's not an attractive man. So that in itself is hilariously funny. He's shaving, and then they start hugging. So the waitress got shaving cream, and his excuse was, she has Eastern European blood.
We would call them what? Cucks today, or low cows, if they were, that would be the term today. We can't say that though. But no, this could be a very interesting trial.
Yeah, it seems like everything is gone from Kayla's YouTube channel
So
again.
it looks like they changed her handle because she still has the subscribers. They just had to change her handle probably to recover something.
Wait, what happened?
And somebody got in through her assistant's email who had access to her YouTube. But then IT Goatee Brad helped Kayla with that, but it seems like they got in anyways. So I
it's
hope
a good thing I got triple layer protection.
Yeah,
no one can get into your YouTube through me.
I'm not saying how I protect my YouTube, but I do have it protected.
Hey, Lady Lysandra.
Except from Dave, who has access to it.
Yes.
Yes, Dave has access to my backdoor. Everybody laugh. Yes, backdoor.
Well, it's just to rescue you from your certain Wheel of Death streams or whatever.
Well, that's actually smart.
Yeah.
That's
so
good thinking.
If I'm going down, I can jump in and take over.
Oh my god, I wonder if that... Have you ever had to do that? Because I wonder if he will still keep going thinking that he's still streaming.
No, it's more like I'm closing this down.
I've had to jump on and coax him into ending the stream twice, and he ended one like mid-sentence, and then we decided to give some backdoor access, and then he decided instead of just all shots, he was gonna sprinkle in some other stuff. So that didn't happen.
Yeah,
you got your Wheel of Regrets up.
Yeah, hold on while I show more about what is going on.
Please interview Glanville. Oh.
I don't know if I could handle the ums. It would have to be pre-recorded so I could remove the ums. And I'm not that judgmental about ums and people that have filler words when they talk, but his are extensive. There are a lot of ums.
Yeah, for you who don't know, this is my Wheel of Regrets. Sometimes on Friday, I have somewhat of a grifting stream, and every $50 in super chats, gifted memberships, or via PayPal, you get a spin on the wheel. And it is alcohol and disgusting things to eat. Originally, it was all alcohol, and that was not the brightest of ideas. Let's just say that. Hello, Kayla, you're back.
Verify. I'm back.
Yeah. Do you have you called Brad?
Yeah, he's working through it now.
Okay. It's good to have an IT goatee. Brad has helped Megan Fox, Jeff, me, and other people when crap happens. And now my issue was handled with better internet. World of Doom all the time because I live rural and having mobile internet just didn't cover it.
So I missed the wheel.
Oh, the Wheel of Regrets. This
You don't
is-
want it. There's like mayonnaise on there.
Yeah, I mean, so it's for grifting streams where people pay me to do stupid things. There are alcohol and disgusting things to eat. It's the Wheel of Regrets. I'm fine while it happens. I'm not so fine the day after. So yeah, that is the one. And I do not recommend it to people to use that kind of grift if you don't have my stomach.
Yeah, I can't do any of that. I did moonshine once, and I think it was old, but that went very badly.
Oh, well, you did. Do you remember the ferry ride, Dave? No,
Nope,
you don't.
No recollection of the ferry ride. On a ferry between Denmark and Sweden, Nick, myself, and Broken Baker. I don't even know. I counted the shots. I don't remember how many because we streamed it live, and I do not remember leaving.
Yeah.
I do not remember shutting down the stream. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, this was the second bottle we used on, but with 3 people.
Let me drink some water.
And guys, let me just say, I see Ghost put in the chat that I have a new YouTube. That is a hacker. Please do not go to that YouTube.
Okay.
Don't drop
That
link.
explains it.
Stay away from my YouTube right now, please.
Yeah, stay away from Kayla's YouTube at the moment until Kayla and IT Goatee Brad gets it sorted. It's so infuriating when stuff like that happened. I saw the screenshot you took, them posting information about you and your kids, and I mean that's actionable, real actionable, because that is not fun.
And I just don't understand why YouTube and Google won't help me and why they continue to say there's no suspicious activity on my account.
Because they go through either yours or your assistant's. So they decided that, well, it's through your email. And so, yeah, it takes a lot from the YouTubes and from Google to do anything. But it is, I mean, hopefully some of it can be traced, because throughout my decades, when they give information about you, they also give information about them. Because you can always scale it down to, okay, how many people knows this? How many people knows that part, that part, that part? And all of a sudden, okay, now we can start to see, okay, maybe. I don't know about your case. I got hacked some in the early noughts, but that got resolved because I found out who it was, and it went away. And with law, nothing else. Law, nothing else. Nothing else. Allegedly. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, John Commune. What are the odds the state could put through a motion having her recused, depending on how the week of the 29th goes? If they wanted her out, I believe they would have yeah, we will see next week on Tuesday if they want her out. But that would look really bad for the prosecution. Really, really bad. There are several rule number 1 when it comes to trials, but rule number 1 is don't piss off the judge. And yeah, the defense, sure, once in a while you have to, and then you suffer for it. But prosecutors, no.
All right, I was watching the part where the judge laughed at Love.
Oh, do you have it? Yeah.
Yeah, I could pull
yeah,
it up.
put it up. Oh no, not that one.
No. I haven't done anything yet. I have to share it. Hang on a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, Dave also have access to my StreamYard.
Okay, let me boost real quick. Boost. Okay, so this is where it kind of starts. And she's just talking about procedures going forward with witnesses and exhibits.
I don't, if that's what the expectation has been,
No, of course, I'm getting the.
then I wouldn't expect y'all to have all filed all of your challenges. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I'm on my laptop, so this is giving me.
I see 102.56. I think I can
Know what's been going on. Yeah, that has not been the case. No, but because of the way that
Okay, so we missed that because I was screwing up. But essentially, what she was saying is like, listen, if you've been doing these evidentiary challenges as they come up, you probably haven't addressed a lot of the evidentiary issues. So if the court hasn't addressed these evidentiary issues, which I'm assuming you haven't addressed since you're doing it as the witnesses come up, then those can be raised. And then the prosecutor is trying to say that they haven't been. Did you pull up yours?
Yep.
Okay.
Phrasing.
I wouldn't expect y'all to have all filed all of your challenges. I don't know what's been going on. Yeah, that has not been the case. No, but because of the way that the court.
So like, obviously, it has been the case. So obviously, it has been the case.
Oh yeah. That I agree. That's mocking, or just very, very surprising that anybody after the judge said that tried to make a claim. The judge knows it's not true.
Yeah, she knows it's not true, and that's kind of what I was hoping it was. Is that Love is saying something super seriously, and the judge is like, okay.
Yeah, no, that very surprising laugh that anybody would.
Yeah, look at the freeze frame.
Yeah.
of the judge's face right now.
Yeah, Love is just looking down.
Mm.
Can we back that up? I want to see the other two prosecutors' reactions when the judge is laughing.
Well, first, thank you, Chef's Kiss, for your $2 super chat. Love the coverage all of you do on this trial. Thank you so much. We try our best. Let's see here. Backing up a bit.
Then I wouldn't expect y'all to have all filed all of your challenges. I don't know what's been going on. Yeah, that has not been the case. No, but because of the way that the court indicated.
There's more than the judge laughing.
I think that's the judge laughing.
But I hear other people reacting in the background to this, and you could see Miss Hilton, what, and then staring down at papers. The middle, I don't remember his name. The
Mr. Atkins, Christian Atkins.
Kat knows the names.
No, I had to ask today, and then someone on X. I don't know if I see them in the YouTube chat ever, so I don't really remember their name, but they had actually clarified that his last name was Atkins, because I was like, I don't know his name.
Okay.
That's how little he speaks. It's always Love and Hilton and.
Yeah, but I want to listen to that again because I can swear I hear other people laugh.
Then I wouldn't expect y'all to have all filed all of your challenges. I don't know what's been going on. Yeah, that has not been the case. No, but because of the way that the court indicated.
You see, that motion she did with one hand, she started laughing, and then she did that motion with her left hand, almost pointing to the defense. Yeah,
I'm going to recant. I think it's frustration. I think the judge is laughing out of frustration. Like, I have no idea what's going on. You guys are all telling me different stuff.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the judge laughing when Love speaks.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind if she did it. No, she can't. That is a judge that will not admonish anyone in front of the jury. but that really caught her off guard. Okay, Atkins. Even though I know a lot about this case, I also forget a lot about this case because there's so much moving on. For instance, the names. It took me months to not call to repronounce it Mr. Shard's name. I did not pronounce it the correct way in the beginning. Let's just say that, because I had a lot of fun with the names in this trial, because you have Mr. Shard. You had, at the time, you had former ADA Sprinkle, which I found amazingly funny.
I forgot about Sprinkle.
Yeah. Who, by the way, he will be one of the witnesses soon after. Why am I holding this? Soon after Woody, because he was the ADA who recommended to not to drop the charges originally, because there simply was no evidence in the Donaldson case until if I remember correctly. If I don't, people will tell me. People will always tell me.
You know,
Now,
there's a prosecutor in Wayne County whose name is Luke Skywalker. And I thought for the longest time, his name is Luke Skywalker.
Just shows up with the lightsaber.
That his parents were just like super Star Wars fans. No, he changed his name while in law school to Luke Skywalker, and he still goes by it. And he's like, what? Yeah, it's Luke Skywalker. What?
Probably pulled a Taylor business.
Yeah.
Oh no, folks! I know I'm not the person to talk about names that are hard to pronounce. I know, but it's just like with very large people. I'm a very large person with a very weird name. I actually have the right to point out largeness and funny names, in my opinion. But yeah, I had a lot of fun about the names in this trial when I started out with it, and there were more names that just say what now, and not derogatory as in for you have some spellings and other things, but Shard, Love, Sprinkle, that's funny. That's just funny.
Yeah, those are some great names.
Look at the chat from Wim.
Yeah.
Nick, I do gotta jump out of here. I had a 7:00 cutoff for myself, which is 6 minutes ago my time. This is a lot of fun though, so I hope you do more of these, and I would love to be a guest.
Yeah, it's always amazing to have you on. Yeah, thank you, Wim, for first of all for being a member for 12 months. Second of all, that's funny.
Yeah, that was a good one.
On panel before? I think this is the first time.
No, we're always in chats playing tag, and
yes, so it's nice to chat with you.
Like actually, right? It's weird because I'm like I'm used to seeing you, but I'm actually at the same time. Take care, you guys. Kayla, whenever we know your channel is like the right channel, just let me know so we can broadcast it out. Good luck with everything. That's so annoying. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. With one,
I've never had a channel taken over, but I've heard about it.
Here's my cat. Aww.
Nice.
Hello,
you must be doing
Mr.
something right, Kayla, if so many people are that concerned that your channel gets hacked.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
And YouTube just emailed me again and said they still have no signs of suspicious activity on my account. My username.
I just spent a half hour. YouTube did the unfortunate thing of sending me a survey to fill out. Oh, I went off on them because they are absolutely horrible to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really want to do work. I
sent them the screenshots. My handle is changed. I'm like, it's a foreign language on my account. How are those not signs?
Because they don't want to do anything.
Or do they keep putting it up?
They keep putting it up. We thought we had it resolved, and they started back.
Ah, that is so annoying. But
Twitter
uh,
streaming tends to work. I agree with Ghost. It's
yeah,
the only way I was able to get a response from YouTube on anything is to Twitter shame them. Just
Yeah.
keep tagging them in Twitter.
I did that all day. It hasn't gotten me anywhere.
Oh, this has been going on for a while, huh?
Yeah. But I will see if I see the latest one, and I will retweet.
So
What
the attorney you
doing?
had on, I forget his name again. I don't want to call him by the wrong name. He
Doug?
said he's filing a motion on Tuesday
His name
for a
is Doug.
mistrial.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be interesting. I mean, it won't be argued on Tuesday, but if you can get your hands on it, it should be an interesting read.
Yeah.
So, are you going to meet up with him when you hit Austin, or not Austin, Atlanta?
He's typing.
No. Sorry, I was doing the Twitter thing. I will meet up so far with Doug, with Infamous Sylvia. Other people have reached out. I want to meet up with Caleb, but we haven't decided anything yet. But
what day are you coming?
I'm in Atlanta for August 14 to 15.
Okay.
But we will have we can handle that through Twitter DM, because you're an active lawyer, scheduling everything. So.
Well, I don't live in Atlanta, right?
Oh, I didn't.
No, I
didn't
don't.
actually.
I don't. And that was the whole thing about this situation. He knew I didn't live in Atlanta, and that I had flown there just to cover for Melanie.
Oh.
I live in Houston.
Oh, you're in. I will be in Houston from August 7th to 11th. That's my first stop on my road trip. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been in Houston before, but that was like 1997. That was before you had to check in your feet and everything. And so it will be interesting to get there now and see how much has changed, if anything has changed.
Where have I been in Texas? I've been to Dallas, and
yeah, that's Texas.
I was in Galveston, and then is it Houston? I think I was in Houston last year.
Yeah, Dallas, Houston, Galveston. Because Dallas, Houston, Galveston. Because if you want to go from Dallas to Galveston, you have to go through Houston, more or less. Well, I went.
Yeah, so Galveston or Houston is just north of Galveston, so that's where I was.
Yeah, and when I was there in 1998, or was it 1996? I don't remember. I'm Swedish. If I want to go somewhere, I walk. That's not a thing in Houston, apparently.
Well, it's not a thing in the United States, period. Unless you're like
I walk a lot.
Somewhere.
I think it depends on where you live.
Yeah, we had rooms at a motel near NASA Road. And apparently, if everything is more or less quadrants in Houston, and so I walked over the road and I walked to a neighborhood. I found a tattoo parlor. I went in there and talked with them, and had a beer. And a few hours later, I walked back to the motel and I said, "Well, that tattoo parlor there a mile away. That was fun." And the receptionist just, "You went there?" Apparently,
I do walk a lot too. When we were in Dallas, we were staying at the Virgin Hotel, which, by the way, has excellent drag queen brunch on Sundays. But we decided to walk downtown, and then we walked over to Dealey Plaza, and we just walked everywhere, and it's like 3 miles or so. But it's not a very walking friendly city. You're walking on the shoulder, most of the time.
Yeah, this time I'm going to the convention center because they have Matsuri that weekend, and but it will be fun to see other things because I saw the Space Center. I went to America Mall or whatever it's called with a hockey rink in the middle. I don't know if there's still a hockey rink in the middle. It was one of the biggest malls in the United States at one point, or at that point at least. I have no idea. But that's more. And then we drank beer because even in Houston in April is warm. So hence, Houston in August. What could go wrong with the palest man on the planet? Yeah.
It's so hot. It's
Mm.
going to be so hot. It's going to be horrible. You're going to hate it.
I'm very sure that after God I will place Texas here. Now I'm going to invent AC. I can see people survive without AC in Texas in August. Oh my God.
You got a fan here, Nick. Loves
Hey,
the
hello,
accent.
Verna Sims. Love my accent. I could listen to you read a phone book and enjoy it. I have a storytelling channel where I read old Scandinavian stories. Hopefully, Ghost can put the link on it. I haven't had time the past month to post new stuff, but I have 10 or 12 videos on it. So you can spend a couple of hours listening to my voice.
And then you can also rewatch all of the Jody streams over on my channel and get even more of Nick's voice.
Why? You're not monetized.
I know. I'll be monetized one day. No, I won't. I won't ever be monetized on the MLS. I don't think.
Maybe the Lego channel.
The Lego channel, maybe my other channel, my secret channel.
Yeah.
But how late are you going, Nick, tonight? How long are you doing the stream for?
I don't know. It depends on you guys and the chat, and I'm not sure. You watched the case I covered the last couple of days, the Iowa versus Taylor Daisy.
Were they charged and convicted the wrong person because the sister of the defendant is actually the guilty one?
More or less.
Well, I mean, at least there's reasonable doubt that she's involved.
Yeah, but I understand why they convicted him. I really do. But for me, please, jurors out there, stop rewarding horse shit investigations. Yep. I mean, the sister of the defendant showed up at the crime scene unannounced, happy, giggling in the squad car down on the way down to the interview room. She told the officer she had an active domestic. She was fighting an active domestic case against her mother.
She put it on TikTok. It's on TikTok.
It's on TikTok. And once in the investigation room, she was happy and giggly throughout the interview.
With that TikTok, I would have, as a defense counsel, I would have called the sister to the stand and impeached her with that TikTok. I would have said, "This is you talking about a domestic. You were kicked out of the house. You went back. You got into a physical altercation with your mother just days before this, or the day before, whatever it was." I would have absolutely have done that.
Yeah.
I missed the defense's case? Did they present?
No, they only put up one witness, only talking about the tracks behind the house, which was stupid. But call the sister with the TikTok, because in that TikTok, she says she has a car. And the prosecution says, well, she couldn't get there because she didn't have a car. She says on TikTok that she had a car.
Why were all those TikToks that were made weeks and months ago not already in the defense's file and ready to jump on and be like, all right, we're calling the sister?
Because it's a public defenders. Nobody knew, probably.
Well, okay, to be fair, the defendant wasn't even in the courtroom for the entire proceedings.
Yeah.
If the defendant knew that existed and didn't tell his attorneys, okay, but all right, so let's pretend the attorneys didn't know because they didn't really have a cooperating defendant. Client in that case. But still, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and in the interview room, she loaded up a load of cash this thick. In the prosecution's case, they were talking about a coming trip the mother would be.
Is it Desi, the witchcraft trial? What's the guy's
Yeah,
name?
yeah. Daisy.
Florida or Daisy. Florida
Yeah.
v. Daisy. Dr.
Iowa
Sir
v.
Brock
Daisy.
wants to know. Or Iowa.
Iowa.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Iowa v. Daisy. It's on my channel. And it's ridiculous because even though most of everything points to it was actually him, the investigators did nothing to rule out any other possibilities, including the sister who had a domestic case, fighting a domestic case against her mother, which she admitted to, was happy and giggly. And all of a sudden, that stack of cash. And in the prosecution's case, they were talking about the mother. They were soon going on a trip, and they found money, a decent amount of cash, in the mother's bedroom. How do you not connect the dots? Because the daughter was allegedly completely broke. And I'll see if I find. I will.
There's
see if
another YouTuber that's. I think she said she's gonna do like a whole review stream on that case too tomorrow. Squab.
Yeah.
She's gonna go over it all. But yeah, it was really it's a bad investigation. I think there was tons of reasonable doubt. The DNA was iffy to begin with. There's no fingerprints. There's, why was he nude? Well, he's in his own home. That's why he's nude. It's not because he was doing anything nefarious necessarily, right? I mean, of course he could be, but it also could be he's in his house. So, of course, he's nude.
I have to go through mine because Law and Seaward didn't have.
Hey, I'm getting a call. I'll be right back. I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back.
Yep. Okay. Let's see if I can find it here. I should be able to find it. It was during the cross-examination. Is it here? Okay. Sorry. I will show you. I have to show it from my channel. Dun, dun, dun. From the stream I made.
Hey Nick, I might hop back on, but let me finish this up.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time. Take your time.
Thank you.
But why is she smiling and laughing? This is weird. This is the sister of the defendant in the cop car. This is recorded, and they didn't even investigate her.
Was there toxin to my house because this?
Carol's not wrong around the court. Yes.
Okay, I was just double checking. Because I was fighting a domestic case with my mom because she said I slapped her foot.
Okay.
She tells the cop they just found the mother of this woman dead. She says to this investigator, she's fighting a domestic case with her mother. No investigation. Let's go ahead to the stack of cash. That's a stack of cash. Let's see if we get a better look at it. And it's right in front of him. The woman who is supposedly broke has that stack of cash all of a sudden on her. That's not a small stack of cash. And no investigation. no fingerprinting. The investigator said they were checking a traffic camera down the road where she lived, and they didn't see her leave her house. That traffic camera didn't even see her apartment, not the entrance, not the back door, nothing. The prosecution claims she didn't have a driver's license or a car. In her TikTok, he says she had a car. I don't think that is once. At least one of the bills is a fiver. That's not chump change. That's not chump change. So yeah, I was quite frustrated. Now, even with this, I am maybe 70-75% on the defendant actually being the culprit. But it's nowhere near beyond reasonable doubt. And it was infuriating to see, because it was a 2-day trial. So that's the thing. Sorry, folks. Yes, Benjamin, it's almost sitting there like an admission of guilt. So yeah, I was a bit frustrated of that trial. I understand why the jury convicted him. I understand. He more than likely did it. I am 70% there, but my standard of reasonable doubt is much higher than the normal person. I know that. I start out as pro-defense because I do law. My work for the past 30+ years is defending workers. Of course, I'm going to be pro-defense. That doesn't mean I ignore evidence or ignore admissions or testimony. It just means I need more than what was presented in that case. Sorry, Benjamin Gray. Laughing is also a reaction to bad things occurring. Yeah, but she was laughing and smiling throughout the day. In her TikTok, but you can have that reaction, but such a reaction sooner or later wears off, especially if you're in front of an investigator asking questions for a good amount of time. Yeah. Now back to this, because I want to see more about this, because some things here was, I don't remember exactly where it was, but we can keep listening here.
The court wanted parties to provide evidence regarding admissibility issues. I just wanted to make certain that I understood what the court was instructing. There have been evidentiary issues that I believe the parties disagree on. The state disagrees with counsel for defendants' interpretation of what is right and what is valid for contesting at a particular moment. I don't doubt those will continue to arise, but I was asking as it pertains to what the court instructed just a second ago regarding evidence. I didn't know whether the court was doing something different than what I understood.
Okay, so I don't intend to revisit rulings on evidence that's already come in. But
now, here is something that is up to interpretation. She doesn't intend to. That doesn't mean she won't if good enough reasons are made. That's the meaning of the word intended to. It will be not probable, but with enough reason, she might. So she's always, when you listen to her, even if it sounds like she won't do anything about prior rulings, prior things, she always leaves that door open.
for evidence that we know is out there and was going to be introduced a month from now with, witness Jones, if y'all been doing that on a rolling basis, And y'all know that there are gonna be evidentiary issues with it, things that I would have considered motions in limine. Then I want us to all go ahead and voice that now and sort it out so that we know when the witness shows up, what can be talked about and what can't be. And I don't know if that gave you clarification. Okay.
Yeah, this is an extension of what she said earlier, that she wants everything done before the jury gets there. The week of the 30th, and possibly the week after, because she doesn't want a 5-day interruption, because the prosecution wants 17 hours of interrogation videos played in its entirety. I don't think this judge will approve of that. Especially not since they didn't bring it up until after Woody took the stand.
All right, Ms. Abbasi.
Yes, Your Honor, if I may, I have to disagree with this thought that it's been going along that we've already had motions about what is not admissible. Just to propound on kind of what Your Honor was mentioning and what the task of the defense faces, we have a list of 8,000 jail calls. We haven't listened to 8,000 jail calls, and I think probably the majority of them are not relevant. Everyone would agree that they're not relevant.
This is probably the favorite part of this hearing or meeting, what the judge says now, if I remember correctly.
The state's not actually going to introduce all of those jail calls. However, defense, our burden, if you don't raise the objection, it's been waived, and then it comes in at trial.
Okay, so that's why the witness lists with what this is relevant to and what evidence is going to be used is going to be, I hope, very helpful in giving us all a better kind of groundwork.
Yes, Your Honor, that is precisely what I'm asking.
Okay.
20,000 pages of Instagram is going to be these ones.
Okay. Okay.
And Judge,
Yes, sir, Mr. Adams.
good afternoon. Again, Judge Keith Adams with Mr. Steele for Mr. Williams. Just to, I think the court wanted to know if there are things that Judge Glanville had been doing in regards to that particular issue. And I did want to just append to what Mr. Bond was saying. For example, there have been your jail calls, there are interviews, that generally speaking, there have been hearings on the admissibility of those statements.
Okay.
But the court has oftentimes said, I agree that, for example, this statement may be admissible, but there may be some things in the statement that's objectionable.
Sure.
We'll deal with that at that time. The court has routinely been doing that. So not necessarily kicking the can down the road, but addressing issues as they come up. And the court has heard both sides in advance of that issue coming up. If we can get together and iron some things out, let's do it. We've been working to do that, but there have been routinely times where we said we just disagree and we've had to take those items up. And I think what you would like, what Judge Landfill has asked, is that let's let you know about it as far in advance as we can. That way you can set aside some time to deal with it without impinging on the juries.
Absolutely. I mean, that is, I want to be respectful and cognizant of the jury's time. I also want y'all to all know what to expect to the extent you can, and litigate everything that we can litigate beforehand, if it's going to be necessary. Now, if there's some totally irrelevant Instagram post and the state knows they're not going to use it, but they listed it 1,000,000 years ago, their updated list that they're going to share with everybody should not include the Instagram posts that they know they're not going to use. So.
Their updated evidence list should not include, as an example, Instagram posts they know they won't use. My interpretation is that she is there. If the prosecution actually listened, remove the shit you're not introducing. Everything unnecessary in your updated evidence list. None of that should be there to make it easier. Now, can the prosecution change gear? I would agree here with Kos. I don't know how the pronunciation here. I don't think they can. Why? Because it's their entire case is garbage evidence. All of it. I have not seen a piece of solid evidence so far. Not one. And I don't think they can. I honestly don't think they can. So it will be interesting with this judge when the prosecutor does the same tactic. I don't think they will have much success. Because contrary to Judge Glanville, who waited until the last minute, and then it was argument, and then Judge Glanville argued for the prosecution, and then he let the prosecution have their way. I don't think that will happen here. I think it will be the other way around. The judge will say, we had 2 weeks before we restarted this. Why are you coming now trying to introduce this in the middle of the testimony? I hope so. I honestly hope so. And one of Judge Glanville's favorite words, I will let the appeals court tell me if I'm wrong or not. I don't think Judge Whittaker will have that mindset. I honestly hope. I don't think she will. So that will be interesting. Now I know Dave had to take a call. Kayla, her YouTube channel is hacked. Now she has help. Don't know if it will work. But let's just say from Tuesday, I assume if they are having, well, we will know the Mr. Weinstein's motion on Tuesday. Mr. Steele already filed motions. I will have plenty of motions to talk to you guys about. Plenty of motions. And then they will have the reply from the state. Then we can talk about that. And then the week of the 30th, there will be hearings. And those are fun because those are without jury, which means they will speak more freely, which will be much more fun to cover. Conditionally accepted. You're late. Where is everyone? Well, I think you have to go back a bit. Dave had to take a call about 15 minutes ago. Kayla, her YouTube channel was hacked, and Doug could only be here for half an hour. So first half hour is with full panel. First half hour. But let's see here. Do you have any questions, folks, that you want me to address? Then ask them now, if you would be so nice to do so. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Not immediately. Let's go up and see if there's anything I can address. How is the sub? It's going all right. It's doing all right. Can we get a free spin on the wheel? Well, since it's only me here, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been here before, this is the Wheel of Red. Here it is. Små Sture, sour cola. This is sour. Cheers, folks. It's sour. Okay. That was your free spin on the wheel. All right. I don't think I have anything else, but I do see that Infamous Sylvia is still going on, so I will be sending you all over to her. Let's see here. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, I can't. Darn it. Here is the link to her channel. I assume you're already subscribed to her, but because I can't redirect to her channel. Folks, thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for allowing me to try to interpret this faster clock of a trial to all of you. I said this in August of last year. I'm going to cover this case from gavel to gavel. Oh, Benjamin Gray has a question. Gonna miss the four quads. Yeah, with this new judge, less cursing. How about that? I'm so glad with the vibes. The vibes are right here, over here in this chat. Up chat. Okay. Oh, higher up. Okay. Benjamin Gray, do you feel sorry for the defense attorney and having to basically recenter and propose and react in a short time frame? And what would my strategy be? In this new situation, it is much better because it's easier to plan when you know the rules. And when you know the rules, you can apply everything with that. You can start to hold the prosecution accountable for when they attempt to not follow the rules. So my tactic, if I was a defense attorney in this trial, would be on what the defense attorneys already do. Hold the prosecution accountable, hold the state accountable for every piece of garbage they put forward, and good cross-examinations. I believe good cross-examinations are key for success for the defense. They have been doing the best they can with Judge Glanville and the prosecution's office. Now it will be a completely new story, I believe, with this new judge. So thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. But before, if this new judge is good and everything, which means no more four-quad. And if you don't know what four-quad is, it is me saying fuck what. It's the accent, YouTube censors. It's the accent. I meant to say four-quad and nothing else. Oh, okay. I got one more in. Yeah. Now, again, thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for your support, your questions, and everything. Thank you. Until tomorrow and the revisit to the Jodi Arias trial, we are at the state's closing argument, which will be interesting. That is noon Eastern time, Saturday, the Jodi Arias trial. And if not that, I will see you back here Monday. Okay, folks. And yeah, hug your family. Unless your family's crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.